chapter 1, part 2, we're back. So what we've done now is we have made a page in our Littles journal for the setting where we're going to make a map, but we don't know yet. And we have a page for the characters. And now we're drawing what's going on in chapter 1. Okay, guys, ready?
Yeah.
Here we go. So we know so far that Cousin Dinky has delivered a letter. He dropped it from his airplane into the chimney. It went down the hole, and Tom is going to be brave and go get it. That's what we know so far, right? Oh, no, we know about Uncle Nick from the characters, but we haven't heard yet anything about him. We've just heard Cousin Dinky. We think that's Uncle Nick's son, maybe, right? Okay. So, maybe big people would think the Littles look strange too, but no big person had ever seen a Little. The Littles wanted to keep it that way. And so did all the other tiny families who lived in the Big Valley. Now, what's a valley? A valley is a space between two big mountains. So, in the space between two big mountains, there's a flat part. That's called a valley. Where the Littles live is called Big Valley. That's where the Biggs' house is. Big Valley. So now we would have a name for our map. We know that it's going to take place in Big Valley. Okay? So we'll go back and we'll add that onto our map in a minute. They always stayed at a site in their houses, and they hardly ever went out to visit each other. To keep in touch with each other, they couldn't phone, and they couldn't visit, so they sent each other letters. Cousin Dinky Little, a pilot, delivered everyone's mail. He was the mailman. He loved to travel up and down Big Valley in his glider. He and his wife Della, two new characters, Dinky and Della. He and his wife Della flew everywhere together, delivering the mail and having adventures. Tom and Lucy always looked forward to getting the mail. Now, one of the letters had fallen down the chimney. "I've got to get that letter," Tom said, and he started to climb down. Suddenly, he stopped. "Hey, Lucy, I've never noticed it before, but these bricks are almost arranged like steps. Do you know, like on a brick pattern, how it goes down, down, down? It's easy to climb down. Kind of hot down here, though." Why would it be hot? Because what's at the bottom is the, okay. So here is a picture of them climbing down the steps inside the chimney. Okay. "Wait, Tom, I'm coming with you," said Lucy. The tiny girl followed her brother into the chimney. Inside, it was dark and sooty. Soot is that black stuff that comes off when you have a fire, like the coaly kind of gross stuff, yeah. It was dark and sooty. 5 feet down, that's as tall as Mrs. Ham. That's how far down the chimney they went. They started at the top of the chimney and they went all the way down there. But if you're a little, think about how far that is. It's quite the journey. You'd be quite scared, I think. 5 feet down, the steps that they were on came to a stop. There was no more steps to go. And the letter, thankfully, was laying on the last step. Tom picked up the letter and sat down on the step. Who's the letter from?" Lucy asked. Tom held the letter close to his eyes. He could barely make out the writing because it was so dark down there. "Oh, it's for you," said Tom, and he handed his sister the letter. "It's from your best friend." "It's from Tina! Oh, good!" Tom, who's Lucy's best friend?
Tina.
Tina, we've never heard of her.
People.
"Oh, good," said Lucy. Tom leaned back against the chimney. "Hey!" he yelled. "What's wrong?" said Lucy. "It moved." "What moved?"
do it.
Tom jumped to his feet. This brick! The brick I just leaned against! It moved! And the boy began to push on the brick. Tom, be careful, Lucy warned. The chimney might fall down if there's a loose brick. But look, said Tom. It moves. See? And he pushed on the brick. A tiny crack of light came out from behind the brick. Tom pushed again. This time Lucy helped him. Light flooded into the dark chimney. This is crazy, said Tom, almost whispering, and he stuck his head through the opening. It's a secret room. A room, said Lucy. Oh, Tom, it's a secret room.
It's the one on the
How cool would that
It's
be?
gonna be on the front.
The children walked into the tiny room. The light was coming through a little window, which was set far into the wall of the room. Tom and Lucy looked about them. In the room, they saw a small table and a chair, just like the ones that the Littles had in their apartment. And the table, though, was covered in papers.
It says Sophia.
All right, we are going to stop here. Do you want to stop it, Alora?